Hey, everybody, and welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Punishment. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And the Lord of Puppies is here as well. Say hello.
Hi.
And I am your host tonight, the Lord of Pain, the Ranting Monkey. How are you guys tonight?
Me good.
I'm still finishing off my New Year's bottle of Jack Daniels, so I'm a little tipsy.
Nice. Nothing
So
wrong with that.
if I'm more talkative than usual, which is going to be a feat in and of itself than usual tonight, that's the reason why.
So I assume did you guys watch the Bearing-based Mama video?
No, I did not.
I watched, or I should say I listened because I was working. I listened to the first 5 or 6 minutes of it or whatever, but it just didn't really hold my attention for very long. I figured it would all be distilled to me over the course of Twitter and tonight too.
And it will be. The reason I bring it up is because it's been brought up in chat. Guys, we will get to that at YouTube time, which usually happens around 9:45 Eastern time. We're not ignoring it. We'll get there. But we have a format, right, Scribe?
Yes, we have a format. It comes in 4 parts: news, YouTube time, deep topic, and then chat time. See, 4, Matt.
Haha. And then weather and sports.
I get it.
Anything we want to talk about before we jump into the exciting world of news?
Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And by all means, share our stuff like you're a good little kindergartner and have too many cookies for yourself.
Yes. Share. With that out of the way.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. I have no idea what's been going on in the world.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
Beautiful. What's going on in the world?
Well, Monkey, do you know that it's really cold on the East Coast?
Holy shit, yeah.
I guess.
Oh, well, then I guess I don't have anything new to tell you. Oh, but for everybody else, winter storm threatens East Coast, bringing temperatures colder than Mars.
Yay!
That's like saying something, but at the equator in the middle of the day, the temperature on Mars is about 60 degrees. So
it's still cold as fuck. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, saying that it's colder than Mars. It's like, yeah, but Mars gets kind of warm-ish. You could go outside, and if you weren't being blasted with radiation, and if you could breathe, you'd probably kind of enjoy it. I'm just
SDA's here to kill our analogies tonight.
Yeah,
it's not your analogy, it's their analogy, and they did a bad, and that's not your fault. I just want everybody to know that they did a bad.
Okay, well, on that note, this is apparently a real word in science, and this is from CNN. A massive bombogenesis.
Bombogenesis.
B-O-M-B-O genesis. Bombogenesis.
Okay.
A massive, or it's either bombo or bombo, depending how you look at it. An area of rapidly declining low pressure will wreak havoc on the Northeast this week, threatening hurricane-force winter wind gusts and blinding snow. The bombogenesis will result in what's known as a bomb cyclone, and the bomb cyclone, expected to strike Thursday, will likely dump 6 to 12 inches of snow in New England and hurl 40 to 60 mile-per-hour gusts.
Damn. Skythus, thank you so much. Sup, Monkey, SDA, and Scribe. Sup?
Hi.
Hello. By the end of this week, parts of the Northeast will be colder than Mars. The impending storm led to more than 20... Which is warmish, depending on where we're talking about. The impending storm led to more than 2,700 preemptive U.S. flight cancellations for Thursday. A Mount Washington Observatory in New Hampshire, at Mount Washington Observatory in New Hampshire, the temperature will plunge to minus 35 degrees Friday.
Damn.
At last check several days ago, the high temperature on Mars was minus 2 degrees Fahrenheit.
That is pretty warm. Boatman asks, isn't that what happened in the film The Day After Tomorrow? Kind of. In The Day After Tomorrow, there was this huge cyclone that pulled down extremely cold air from the atmosphere that you can fight off by turning on burners at Wendy's.
Yes. Because those square hamburgers, they are a miracle.
But it freezes jet fuel. So if you can figure that out, you're a better person than I am. But it is a wonderfully dumb movie. Thank you for bringing it up because it is one of my favorite dumb movies.
Let's see. But it's not just New England suffering winter's wrath. Freezing rain, sleet, and snow are smothering parts of the southeast on Wednesday. For some in the south, the sight of snow was a first. Deep freeze across South Carolina. Record snowfall left the Palmetto State's signature palm plants covered in white stuff. Okay,
real quick.
Either that's something gross or...
Sithis says, Sithis, try it phonetically, sigh. I am horrible with guessing names, so unless it's like John or Joe, there's a 99% chance I'm going to fuck it up. I apologize. It's me, not you.
Well, Sithis is the god of the Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim. So...
And if it's spelled like that and I was asked to say it, I would say Skythis.
No, but it's spelled like Revenge of the Sith is. So
it's
anyway,
horrible for me reading names online because I'm horrible with them. Thank you, Magnificent Bastard. See, that's one I can read. And here I am worrying about 100-degree Fahrenheit temperature for the weekend. Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, Monkey, I'm bad at it too. I know I've probably told this story before, but Ego Raptor. Yeah, it was a Goraktor forever because if it's online and it's like one word, I assume that you didn't mean. I know. I assume that you didn't mean to make any fucking sense anyway. So like, it just comes out in like a garble of letters. Is how I read everything.
Falcon Millennial. Also, SDA, you would die from decompression sickness on Mars.
Yeah, well, we learned that in Total Recall. We just saw, Arnold Schwarzenegger's mask come off, and he's like, ah.
That's not quite how it would happen, though, but I'm just going to shut up. Anyway.
Let's see. More than 13,000 tons of salt have been scattered across North Carolina, Governor Henry McMaster said.
Right, because the water freezes, but the salt doesn't.
Yeah. Steady snowfall blanketed Charleston in snow and ice, transforming a city that rarely sees snow into a winter wonderland. If Charleston gets 4 inches of snow on Wednesday, as predicted, it would be the most in one day since 1989. State of emergency in Georgia. SDA. Georgia.
Sorry, I have another super chat. Thank you, Sithis. It was my gamer tag before Skyrim, just saying.
Oh, so you were cool before
Scribe.
Skyrim?
Most of us were cool before Skyrim. Skyrim just made us cooler.
I've never been cool. Anyway, in Georgia, Governor Nathan Deal issued a state of emergency for 28 coastal counties ahead of Wednesday's storm. Savannah Hilton Head International Airport, typically booming with tourists this time of year, closed due to severe weather conditions. In Savannah, layers of snow covered live oak trees and Spanish moss. Florida gets walloped with snow. From Maine to Florida, every East Coast state has at least one weather advisory, winter storm watch, winter storm warning, or blizzard warning. That's 1,500 miles of severe weather alerts. In Tallahassee, Florida, Ernst Belliard said he's never seen snow in his 21 years there. Indeed, Tallahassee has not seen measurable snowfall since 1989. 89 was a year for snow, apparently. So anyway.
Wait, is there supposed to be like a blizzard tonight?
In Georgia, yes. At least on the, the coastal.
We're going to get snow?
Well, 28 coastal counties. I don't know what you'll have to check your local news. It doesn't say the details here.
But. I'm going to text my mom in a minute. Mom, text me. I know you're listening. Are we going to get snow? I want snow. Oh my God, Mom, are we going to get snow?
Well, I don't know. Do you like cocaine?
No, not that kind of snow.
Do you like Informer?
What?
Informer.
The fuck does that mean?
Informer. Anyway, never mind.
No, that clears it up.
People in the chat know what I'm talking about, and they're at least as embarrassed as I am for having said that.
Mom, text me. I want to know if we're getting snow. Okay, love you.
Anyway, so there's the weather report to the East Coast.
Fuck.
What?
Oh, it's just a loud bang upstairs.
You should.
Oh, it's okay. It's it's the one recliner is really loud when it gets closed.
Oh yeah, Jack Cochran knows what I'm talking about. Licky boom boom down. That's right.
No, we don't live on the coast. We're not getting snow. Mom, can we move to the coast so we can get snow?
We're going to move to the coast tomorrow for snow.
Yes, no.
Between
How
now and the
spoiled
morning.
are you?
Good God.
I'm not at all. Like, that's not going to happen. No, just about Dosta
Well-
to Atlanta or to Savannah. Damn it. How is
Well-
about Dosta getting snow, but we aren't getting snow? What kind of bullshit is that? We are like way more snowy, friendly? Snowy friendly. Yeah, snowy friendly than Valdosta. That's bullshit.
Well, the next thing you know, SDA wanted snow. She moved out the coast and she... No, sorry. Anyway, weather aside, you guys like Trump?
Yes, sometimes.
Boy, Trump had a day today. I tell you
Did he?
what.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
he
did.
So Trump unloads on former top aide Bannon, quote, he lost his mind. President Donald Trump excoriated his former chief strategist Steve Bannon in a statement Wednesday claiming that Bannon had lost his mind after being pushed out of the White House. The White House released the strongly worded 266-word statement from the president slamming Bannon after excerpts from a new book quoted Bannon as calling the meeting between a Russian lawyer and the president's eldest son, son-in-law Jared Kushner, and then campaign chairman Paul Manafort, treasonous and unpatriotic. Quote, Steve Bannon has nothing to do with me or my presidency. When he was fired, he not only lost his job, he lost his mind. Steve was a staffer who worked with me after I had already won the nomination by defeating 17 candidates, often described as the most talented field ever assembled in the Republican Party, Trump said in a statement. Bannon did not immediately respond to CNN for requests for comment. Trump's fiery statement marked the most significant rebuke by the president of his former chief strategist, who since leaving the White House has maintained an influential position as an informal advisor to Trump and a de facto leader of the president's populist movement. Quote, now that he is on his own, Steve is learning that winning isn't as easy as I make it look. Jesus. Steve has had very little to do with our historic victory, which was delivered by the forgotten men and women of this country, Trump said. Trump also accused Bannon, who has called the mainstream media the opposition party, of being too cozy with reporters and spending much of his time inside the White House leaking, quote, false information. Yeah, this goes on for a bit, but basically, yeah.
Real quick. Thank you, Zenith. My family up in Seattle tells me they got an unusual amount of snow, whereas here in Reno, where it usually has lots, barely got any.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
We have a shit ton. I hate it. This is all about that book, right?
Yeah, he wrote I haven't seen much of the book, but apparently he wrote a book where he called Trump. Oh, sorry.
He didn't write it. Somebody else wrote it. Somebody named Wolf.
Okay.
Who quotes Bannon as saying this stuff. And I think it was InfoWars today was pushing a narrative that the guy who wrote it is known for misquoting people. Okay. So it was weird to see Trump come out firing like he did. Because there's a chance Bannon didn't say any of this shit, but I mean, it's Trump's nature to just fire back randomly. Hey, Drunkle, nice to see you here, bud.
What is the book? I don't even know what it is.
Try
to find. Oh, sorry. That's why Michael Wolff's Fire and Fury, out January 9th, is significant. Wolff, a longtime journalist who's written for Vanity Fair, The Guardian, The Hollywood Reporter, and other publications, presents his new title as a major piece of reporting. Wolff says that his book is based on 200 conversations over the past 18 months with Trump, most members of his senior staff, some of whom he talked to dozens of times, and many of people with whom they had spoken. Some conversations were on the record, while others were off the record or on, quote, deep background, allowing him to relay a disembodied description of events provided by an unnamed witness to them.
Sounds like he works for CNN.
Almost, yeah.
Sources say.
Sources say. Let's see. Well, that one aside, there was also some Russia news today.
Bloodwing, hi. And I said hi to Drunkle because he's rarely here. He doesn't love us like you do. I took you for granted there, and I apologize.
Oh, my God. Monkey, how dare you?
I know. I'm a bastard.
Oh, your parents weren't married?
No, they weren't.
Oh.
Thanks for bringing up that.
You said it. I was just... Oh, wait, you're painful. Wait, you remember your own conception?
No, I remember being told about it.
Oh. Okay, well, that's different. Okay, well, legit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're like literally a bastard.
I am literally the bastard son of a sailor, yes.
Son of a son. Son
That's
of a
why
son.
I say fuck so much. It's
Son
in my
of a
DNA.
Sailor.
It's in your dunna.
It's in my dunna.
Oh, the last time. Okay. So Manafort sues the DOJ and Mueller over Russia probe authority. This kind of calls back to something Monkey was talking about when we were talking about Mueller's investigative powers. Paul Manafort, the former Trump campaign chairman indicted on money laundering and other charges, filed a lawsuit challenging the broad authority of special counsel Robert Mueller and alleging the Justice Department violated the law in appointing Mueller. The suit brought Wednesday in U.S. District Court in Washington, where Manafort and another former Trump campaign aide are charged, challenges Mueller's decision to charge Manafort with alleged crimes that they say have nothing to do with the 2016 campaign, but rather relate to lucrative lobbying work Manafort and his deputy did for a former Russia-friendly government in Ukraine. That work ended in 2014, the suit says. Manafort and his deputy, Rick Gates, deny the allegations in the charges. Now, we'd talked about this in the past, where Mueller sort of like is looking into stuff that sort of it apparently falls outside of his mandate, one would think. Right, Monkey?
Kind of.
Okay.
The problem is no. Special prosecutors just get too much open space to look at whatever they want.
Yeah. The legal action represents a new tack in a broader effort by supporters of the president to push back on the special counsel. Some Republicans have begun publicly calling for Mueller's probe to be shut down. Manafort's attorneys have echoed the president's criticism that Mueller's investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election is pursuing crimes that never happened. The Manafort lawsuit alleges Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and Mueller have unlawfully exceeded the authorities allowed under the law governing special counsel appointments. The lawsuit contends that the order Rosenstein signed to appoint Mueller, quote, exceeds the scope of Mr. Rosenstein's authority to appoint special counsel, as well as specific restrictions on the scope of such appointments, unquote. I would be surprised if the lawsuit has any traction in the long run, but
it'll get tossed.
Probably, more likely than not. It's an interesting question, and if it's true that a whole bunch of other Republicans are saying shut it down, I don't know that that means anything because they can't really do that. But yeah, I'm still waiting for something to come out of all of this that actually pertains to the president.
It's not unusual for whoever's being investigated for their party to say this needs to be shut down. I mean, we saw it with Clinton. It happened back in the 80s with Reagan.
Yeah.
People are acting like that's a new thing. It's not. Who wants to see their president kicked out? Even if they disagree with the guy, you don't want to be that party because we all know what happened with Nixon. And yes, he wasn't kicked out. He stepped down. I get that. But it still put a black eye on the party. And it is the only reason Jimmy Carter was elected.
It's also not unusual to be loved by anyone.
It's not unusual. Yeah.
To be.
But yeah, the courts have ruled on so much of this stuff before, and we saw a lot of it during Clinton's thing.
Yeah.
They've tightened the reins on that, but I don't see how they can do that where they still give people the ability to look into any criminal activity, which is generally the mandate they get.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
I don't necessarily agree that Mueller's scope should be as broad as it is. At the same time, they didn't rein in Kenneth Starr.
Nope.
So I would be surprised if they suddenly decided to rein in Mueller, because I mean, like so many other things, as soon as you start curtailing the abilities of someone on the opposite side, you're also cutting off your own nose to spite your face on your side in the future, should something happen, because you're only hamstringing yourself eventually.
Thank you, Point Curation. Courts should not be writing law. I agree. And anytime they have to decide like that, they should send it back to Congress to write a better law rather than making a definitive statement the way they've been doing.
Yeah.
And that includes the special counsel law. So
let's see. The only other story that popped out at me ahead of the stream, Google has been hit with a revised gender pay lawsuit.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Google's alleged gender pay inequity extends to its preschool teachers in a new lawsuit. Wait, Google has preschool teachers? Okay. 4 former Google employees who previously worked in a range of roles at the company as preschool teachers. I didn't know Google was hiring that young. Have come forward as part of a revised gender pay lawsuit filed on Wednesday. 3 of the women were part of an earlier lawsuit filed in September, alleging that female employees are paid less than their male counterparts. That suit was dismissed in December by a California judge who rejected the class action claim as overly broad. Overly broad with a bunch of women. Broad. That's funny. This newly filed suit more clearly defines the groups allegedly hindered by Google's unfair pay practices, including engineering, management, sales, and teaching roles. The new suit adds a 4th former female worker, Heidi Lamar. That makes me think of Hedy Lamar. Lamar. Or Lamar, the head crab from Half-Life 2. Who was employed by Google as a teacher at Google's Children's Center in Palo Alto from around July 2013 to August 2017. Google runs preschools. I did not know that. Google offers childcare and early education as a perk for its employees. Aha. Okay. Lamar claims that of the 150 teachers employed by Google during her tenure, just 3 were men. 2 of the men hired were paid more than all but one of the women hired, she alleges. How would she know that?
What was her role there?
I mean, unless you're the payroll guy, you wouldn't, or woman, you wouldn't know that.
150 other people, and somehow you know all of what their salaries were, or whatever. I mean, I don't even know what my coworker across from the cubicle from me makes compared to me. How would you know? That's interesting.
Point curation, thank you. Google runs preschools. They're the diversity groups.
Yeah, no shit.
I want to come at this from a different angle. If there's only 3 guys out of, what was it, 100 and some?
150 teachers, and only 3 were men.
So they are a vast minority. They should be paid more.
Well, what race were they? I mean, let's also take that into account, because that's really important at Google.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If they were like Mexican midgets, they should have been paid a whole bunch.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a couple of videos now regarding Google and their employment numbers in regards to, as they call them, marginalized groups. And even after several years of having a intensive initiative to diversify, their percentage of African American employees has risen all of like maybe 1% in like 8 years or something. So just saying, I don't know, maybe those guys are worth more because they make things more diverse.
Do you think Google has initiatives to try to get more male preschool teachers?
Doesn't seem like it, does it? Or if they do, they're failing miserably.
Failing horribly.
Yeah,
that's worse than their 1% a year of new women's.
Yeah, 3 to 147. That's yeah.
That's sexist.
It must be.
Look away from the chat for a minute. Look back to see boobs in chat. Who's talking about? Oh yeah, there's boobs in chat.
Well,
I love chat.
Oh, those kind of boobs. I was excited for a second. I was like, no, that's just a couple of parentheses, a Y, and a couple of periods.
Well, somebody also typed boobs.
Oh, well, that's marginally better.
Hey, friended forever. Nice to see you, bud. Thank you for the super chat. Are super chats allowed here? Have a drink on me, SDA, Monkey, and Scribe. Happy New Year. Back at you, man. And I'll have a drink on you, and I'll tell them about it.
Yeah, I've already had a drink, so thank you. Otherwise, I don't have any other super duper news stories unless something has suddenly broken in the last 10 or 15 minutes. Let me make sure if my internet's not dying again. Is it? Okay, good. Nope. Oh, except 90% of flights at LaGuardia have been canceled on account of weather. Just an update for those of you that might be interested in LaGuardia Airport flight activity.
Kitty Stalker wants us to do our tagline, but wrote it wrong. It's Monkey Dick first. Monkey Dick always comes first.
Yeah, it does.
And we already did it. We did that at the top.
Yeah, we did that at the beginning of the show. But yeah, Monkey Dick always comes first and longest.
Oh, wait, is Jenny here? Hey, Jenny.
Jenny?
Jenny Kiss. I
Oh.
always want to call her Jenny McCarthy. It's not Jenny McCarthy. It's
Hi,
McDermott.
Oh, I was going to say 8675309. What?
Monkey Dick is their god. Monkey Dick. I wouldn't say it if people didn't whine about me talking about it 2 days in a row.
Shall I go on to MSS
Yes.
Snooze?
I'm a child. Yes, guys. If you have stories you'd like us to take a look at and possibly talk about, hit us up on Twitter at #MSS News. We can't get to them all. We do what we can, and we thank you so much for your participation. It helps us immensely.
Yeah. It also helps us be completely freaked out by like this very first story that popped up. And I will scroll down to where we left off yesterday, but this first one at the top of the list just really struck me. This comes from Krampus. Thank you, Krampus, I think. Man admits to well, here we go. Man admits to having sex with 8-year-old and feeding her meth at a hotel.
Shoot him right in the face.
A 48-year-old Missouri man admitted to having sex with an 8-year-old girl and forcing her to eat methamphetamine. Detective Betsy Schultz, a police spokeswoman, said the incident happened at a hotel on January 1st. The suspect, Brett Pendleton, should be thrown into hell and left there to burn for the rest of eternity. Sorry, that was...
Yeah, I mean, at that point, what?
It's not a suspect. He's admitted it. That's not a suspect anymore. That is a confessed asswipe who needs to die. Fuck him. Sorry.
The suspect, I'm reading it as it's written. My apologies. Brett Pendleton rented a room at the American Inn on East 5th Street. The man had the child with him. Investigators said the child's mother came to the motel room on the evening of January 1st. The child told the mother that Pendleton had hurt her. The relationship between child's mother and the suspect is unclear. The child's mother and the suspect is unclear. According to police, the child said the suspect forced her to participate in several different types of sexual acts. The child also said the suspect made her eat methamphetamine, smoke marijuana, and smoke cigarettes. The mother took the child to a local hospital and filed a police report. Investigators said evidence from inside the hotel room matched the victim's statements.
Thank you, Sithis. Shooting is too quick. Let's try boiling in oil. I'd be fine with that. And point curation, thank you. Frontier justice is injustice to all. No, this dude has admitted you don't fuck with children. You just don't. This is the one thing that will set my blood boiling. No, fuck him. I hope really horrible shit happens to him.
Let's see. Well, a lot of people have sent us a lot of stories over the last 24 hours. Thank you guys so much. Let me see. What's this one? No, we covered that one. Sorry. I heard about this today. Okay, we'll do this one. This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Rat on a plane. Alaska Airlines flight out of Oakland canceled due to wayward rodent. Let's see. A rat discovered in the cockpit of an Alaska Airlines flight at Oakland International Airport on Tuesday grounded the aircraft and left passengers scrambling for alternative travel plans. A single rat. Really? Okay. Flight 915 was scheduled to depart Oakland at 9:15 a.m., amazingly enough, for Portland, but the passengers were pulled off the plane due to the rodent problem. Quote, an Alaska Airlines aircraft departing Oakland International Airport was canceled today due to reports of a mouse in the cockpit of the aircraft. A mouse. The flight's 110 passengers are being accommodated as appropriate by Alaska Airlines flights from San Francisco and San Jose airports. Alaska Airlines released a statement calling the stowaway rodent a rat, saying it was spotted around 8:30 a.m. Quote, that's when a rat was spotted jumping from the jetway to inside the aircraft. Any passengers on board the aircraft were deplaned. Really?
Well, there was actually a great story they covered on the Ghost Poo podcast the other day. They had to ground a plane because a hummingbird got in it.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that somewhere. But
so now a hummingbird and a rat have grounded planes. That's really fucked up.
Is that really enough to ground a plane? A rat?
Maybe they're worried about it getting into the food, or
I guess that seems a little I don't know. What if the rat was only discovered after they'd gone into the atmosphere? What do they do then?
Well, then you just open the door and kick them out.
There you go. That's what you do. This coming from our professional bat murderer. So
I did not murder any bat.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
It was alive when it left my house.
What is this? Oh, well, I'm going to scroll up a little bit because there's just a story that we're all at least marginally interested in, I think. It's in regards to the swatting incident the other day.
Oh, yeah.
The suspect.
Real quick, before you get there, Griffin Turbo says turbines don't like birds. Yeah, this bird was actually in the cockpit.
Right, inside the plane. Yeah, inside the plane. Suspect in deadly 911 hoax has history of making phony calls. A Los Angeles man suspected of making a hoax emergency call that led to the fatal shooting of a Kansas man told a judge Wednesday he would not fight efforts to send him to Wichita to face charges. Tyler Barris, 25, was held without bail after waiving his right to an extradition hearing in Los Angeles Superior Court. Barris stood behind a glass wall dressed in black with his hands cuffed at his waist and provided brief answers to a judge's questions, acknowledging he was the wanted man and had voluntarily signed the waiver. Police have said Andrew Finch, 28, was shot after a prankster called 911 last week with a fake story about a shooting and kidnapping at Finch's Wichita home. Barris has been charged in Kansas with making a false alarm, according to court papers. The charge for calling police or a fire department and knowingly giving false information is a low-level felony in Kansas that carries a maximum of 34 months in prison. Other charges could be filed after Wichita prosecutors review the results of a police investigation. A more serious potential state charge would be second-degree murder for unintentionally causing a death by reckless actions, said Elizabeth Cataforis, a law professor at the University of Kansas. That can carry a sentence of up to 20 years, which I think he is more than worthy of being considered for, all things considered.
Indeed. Thank you, Falcon Millennial. Scribe, grounding a plane because of a rat is the FAA at work. The FAA can ground a plane for less.
Oh, so the FAA can ground a plane for a ham sandwich?
Probably.
Probably.
If it's a Muslim flight.
Oh.
Let's see. Well, yeah. This guy, yeah, I cannot believe that'll be the only charge he faces. I would have imagined the second-degree murder charge will not only go but stick because the idiot's admitted. When I say idiot, I don't mean he's an idiot for admitting it. He's an idiot for what he did, and he's already admitted what he did. So
I can see a plea deal coming. I don't know what, but I have a feeling he might be pled out to a lesser charge.
No, I don't think it will because this was an innocent man, and again, we saw the whole problem with this makes the police look bad. The cop in this situation seems to have overreacted. I don't want to say he did, but it definitely doesn't make the cops look better when you shoot somebody for opening a goddamn door.
Well, that's the factor here that I think may have enough. And again, I'm being a little cynical here, but if they charge him with second-degree murder, doesn't that necessarily make the cops' actions at least manslaughter?
No.
You don't think
so? Because the cop was still in the execution of his duties. Whether he pulled the trigger too fast or not, that's for somebody else to say.
Yeah.
But if you do something, in most states, they have laws like this. If you do something that causes the death of another person, you're culpable. It doesn't matter if somebody else did it or not. If you push somebody in front of a car, the person who hits them with that car is actually the one who killed them.
Yes.
But you're the one who did it. So it's not the driver's fault. So.
All right. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I still have a feeling there might be a plea. We'll see. We'll definitely keep on top of it as things go. This story makes me decidedly depressed, if true. Not nearly as depressed as the first story regarding the hotel and the little girl, but this also comes from Colleen Bernier. Scientists say climate change may make chocolate extinct by 2050.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I really hope it's not true. Chocolate lovers may want to sit down before reading this because scientists are forecasting that climate change may force the plants that produce chocolate into extinction by 2050. Let's see, 2050, that's another 42 years from now. No, sorry, 32 years from now. So I'll be I'll probably be too old to care. I'll probably be Alzheimer's by then. I won't care. According to a report from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the changing temperatures around the world will make growing cocoa plants nearly impossible within the next 30 years. Quote, more than 90% of the global cocoa crop is produced by smallholders on subsistence farms with unimproved planting material. The chocolate-producing plants only grow in specific locations that are within 20 degrees to the north or south of the equator. The plants thrive in the rainforest because of its stable temperatures with high humidity, heavy rain, rich soil, and protection from the wind. NOAA claims that the effects of climate change will gradually push the perfect climate for growing cocoa in the higher and less suitable areas. Researchers add that over 89% of the current growing areas for chocolate will not be suitable for the crops by 2050 because of the lessening humidity around the equator.
Real quick, thank you, Snub Earth. When the FBI came to my house with a search warrant, I opened the door to 3 guns pointed at me. Still think it's overkill. That is overkill.
Yeah. What were they at your house for? Inquiring minds want to know.
And real quick, before we get to the chocolate, Prospero said cross state lines via wire to commit a felony, see if the feds want a shot at his ass ranting monkey. I would not be surprised if we don't see federal charges.
Yeah, if this was California to Wichita, that's interstate crime, so yeah.
Gregory Hurst says, thank you so much, Gregory. Chocolate will only be found in turtle caves.
Oh,
that's
Lord.
Gross. This is more okay. Never mind. It's alarmist bullshit. Even if what they're saying is true, it could still be grown in regulated environments, indoors. Thank you, Point Curation. People have given up their lives to protect seeds.
That is it true?
I suppose it depends on how you look at it.
Let's see. What do we have here? One from Jack the motherfucking Cochran. Woman receives bionic hand with sense of touch. I think I've seen stuff like this on YouTube videos before. Scientists in Rome have unveiled the first bionic hand with a sense of touch that can be worn outside a laboratory. The recipient, Almarina Mascarello, who lost her left hand in an accident nearly a quarter of a century ago, said, quote, it's almost like it's back again, unquote. In 2014, the same international team produced the world's first feeling bionic hand, but the sensory and computer equipment it was linked to was too large to leave the laboratory. Now the technology is small enough to fit in a rucksack, making it portable. The development team included engineers, neuroscientists, surgeons, electronics, and robotics specialists from Italy, Switzerland, and Germany. The prosthetic hand has sensors that detect information about whether an object is soft or hard. Good for the porn industry.
Indeed.
These messages are linked to a computer in a rucksack that converts these signals into a language the brain will understand. The information is relayed to Almarina's brain via tiny electrodes implanted in nerves in the upper arm. In tests, Almarina, who was blindfolded, was able to tell whether the object she was picking up was hard or soft. She told me, quote, the feeling is spontaneous as if it were your real hand. You're finally able to do things that before were difficult, like getting dressed, putting on shoes, all mundane but important things. You feel comfortable. We're getting close to Deus Ex, everyone, bit by bit.
Well, it's neat, but is that all it can feel is hard and soft?
Hey, as far as like sensory input goes for a prosthetic hand, that's pretty fucking cool.
It is. But to me, I mean, anytime I hear about these things, yes, I understand losing your hand's probably horrible and getting somebody a hand back is awesome. But aren't there so many more medical problems we need to solve first?
Well, there are places that are trying to solve them, but you know, everybody's got priorities.
I guess I see it. I mean,
if you can give a military veteran back an arm, that'll work. I don't know. Seems worth it to me. And of course, a lot of this research has, you know, collateral unintended consequences as a result. I mean, there's who knows what else might come out of developing a touch-sensitive hand for a million other things.
Thank you, Dax Orion. First, sex bots. Second, sex bot robots who feel that you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong. Yeah, and you don't want to fuck with a sex robot telling you you did it wrong.
I'll save this one for deep topic time. Jack the motherfucking Cochran has sent us a list of Star Wars characters who are probably gay.
All of them. That's my new
Yeah,
answer.
pretty
All
much.
of them.
Let's see. What's this? Oh,
Yeah, and Prospero, as somebody who Prospero said, sometimes a breakthrough in one department opens the door for nerve work. Yeah, and as somebody who's dealing with that, to me, yes, it's important work. But even in my situation, I'd rather they cure cancer than fix me at this point. Thank you, Bruni Strongbear. Guess you could say she finally got a hand on life. Indeed.
wah.
Wah, wah,
I
wah.
won't go over this whole story because the headline kind of says it all, but because it's still ongoing. But YouTube star Logan Paul is wanted by cops in Japan over suicide forest video where he filmed a hanging person. They want to question him over the insensitive video of a man hanging in Japan's so-called suicide forest. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Doesn't mean he'll actually be, charged with anything, but if they want to talk to him about, I don't know what kind of laws there are in Japan about, filming a crime or filming a suicide or something like that.
I know you can't show actual intercourse.
That's true. That's why all the Japanese porn's all fuzzed out, like just enough that you can't actually see anything.
Yeah. You can show everything except penetration.
This is new. In the wonderful world of sexual harassment firings and such, IGN fires its editor-in-chief after, quote, alleged misconduct. Tech gaming website IGN has parted ways with their editor-in-chief, Steve Butts, after an internal investigation. Yeah, Steve Butts, after an internal investigation into misconduct. Quote, IGN initiated an investigation into alleged misconduct involving Steve Butts. As a result of the investigation, the company has appropriately determined to part ways with Mr. Butts. Let's see. According to Kotaku, the Butts matter. Jesus, I'm fun with it. The Butts matter had been simmering for months. The editor-in-chief was first accused during a meeting as the company was investigating broader issues of workplace harassment. Since being accused, Butts maintained a low profile within the company and worked from home in the months leading up to his termination. The company did not immediately respond to a request for comment from The Wrap. Yeah, and I forgot to read the other day, a couple of top guys at Vice got fired because of the...
Yeah, we covered that one when you were gone.
Did you?
Yeah, why were you gone? Oh, that was me and Weibo did that one, yeah.
Did you? Oh, okay.
Broody Strongbear, thank you. Looks like they couldn't hold on to their butts.
I think
they lost their butts.
What was it? On that one.
What was the exact allegation? Did they say in that?
They didn't say. Just alleged misconduct is as far as they went so far.
All right.
Their investigation purportedly proved it out, I guess. Okay, we have a Florida girl story from Jack the motherfucking Cochran. How many more? How many more you want me to do, Monkey?
Let's just do this one more.
Okay. Yeah, because I have ads. Oh, do I have ads?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is from the Miami Herald. Girl told mom she was making s'mores with friends on New Year's Eve. Then tragedy hit. Okay. Lee Chesney was relieved when her 14-year-old daughter, Lane, told her she was going to stay over at a friend's house during a New Year's Eve gathering in Fort Pierce, where she was making s'mores with the family. Less to worry about given all those crazy drunk drivers on the roads after parties. But then Chesney got tragic news when officers arrived at her door Sunday night. She knew something bad had happened. Quote, police arrived at my house and told me there had been an accident. I thought it was a car accident. Instead, Lane Chesney is in critical condition after suffering third-degree burns during a bonfire just before 10 p.m. Sunday. As of Tuesday evening, she was in a medically induced coma. Jesus. At a small New Year's Eve gathering, the girl was huddled around a bonfire off the back porch of a friend's house. The fire was dwindling, so Lane, in an attempt to revive it, I know where this is going. In an attempt to revive it, poured gasoline and the gas can exploded. Lane was engulfed in flames. Her friend Hunter Holmes, 18, and his parents, Robert and Stephanie, tried to smother the flames by grabbing her with their hands and bodies. Lane, Hunter, and Robert Holmes were airlifted to Kendall Regional Medical Center to treat their injuries. But Lane's injuries are grave, according to her mom. 95% of her daughter's body was affected by third-degree burns. She was able to tell the rescue team her name and address and mother's phone number, but was put into the coma by doctors by the time her mother got to the hospital. Quote, they are removing all the skin to the muscle. She is in grave condition. The risk of infection is high, Chesney told the newspaper. Doctors are unsure whether she will survive her injuries. She is fighting hard. It is in God's hands. For fuck's sake. Okay, so adults were there, and they had a gasoline can near the bonfire.
And let a child pour gas on a fire.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Yeah. The adults nearby, I have a lot of questions for. Let's put it that way, because that's bullshit. You don't put a gasoline can near a bonfire, period, especially not around children. I don't care if they're 14 or 8 or 15. You just don't do it. Fuck's sake.
I'm not a fan of bonfires. Up here, there's a real problem with people getting drunk and falling into them.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, that's MSS News for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for sending us the stories, good, bad, or otherwise. We always appreciate them.
It's on to YouTube time, guys. What we do here, for those of you who are new, we cover our stuff and then we get into drama. So we're still getting to Kilroy. We'll get there in a few minutes. Thank you, James Colley. 3 questions. First, can we get someone to film Logan Paul getting worked over? Second, does robot hand prevent deep penetration? And third, nip pull tonight. No, Lady Monkey's actually laying down on a heating pad. She's hurt her back recently and isn't moving very well. She's moving like me. She's moving like grandpa now. Old like grandpa.
Old like grandpa.
So yeah, not tonight. Sorry, guys. YouTube time. The only thing I did, I was going to make a video and I started on it, and and my heart just wasn't in it. I was going to be making content just to make content, and I can't do that because then I would be bored with it. So what I did instead was went on a stream with Irate Bear and had a really great talk with him, and then Sinatra jumped on at the end and had a great talk with the two of them. So not a super productive day, but at least I did something. SDA.
I didn't do anything today, but I will be making that Logan Paul video probably tomorrow. I was bussy today.
Bussy?
Yeah, it's like busy, but bussy. It's
like saying
it's like busier than busy. No,
you were busty today. Well, she's busty every day.
No, because busy is the word bust with a Y. You guys are disgusting.
Why are we disgusting?
What's what's disgusting about busts? I mean, there's a natural part of a woman. What's wrong with that?
You guys don't act like you're not disgusting.
No.
You are. You are.
Well, I think Monkey and I will completely admit that we are dirty old men, but there's nothing gross about admiring a bust.
No. We are dirty middle-aged men. Thank you.
Oh, well, okay. You're older than I am. I'm old in mind. How about that? I'm more mature than you are mentally. Okay, that's fine. I'm glad you agree.
By a lot. Point curation. Thank you. Jordan Peterson released a radical proposal.
Was this the school thing? Because I spotted that today when I was looking around for videos, and there's something about a unicorn and Jordan Peterson. I don't know what the details were. I just kind of spotted it peripherally. Let's see. Okay, so I was very productive today, relatively speaking. I got all the ads done. We'll get to those in a second. I started work on the video I mentioned last night, which oddly enough, the subject matter of which kind of bleeds into what we'll talk about when we get to Kilroy, because it's serendipity. I didn't know about some of the Kilroy stuff until after I'd started working on the video. And I found another video I may work on in the near future, but I'm working on the other one first. But all that aside, ads. And boy, oh boy, do I have ads today. I'll get to the special section of ads shortly here, but I will try to get them done in a relatively efficient manner. So are we ready for ads?
We are ready.
Okay. First off, we have Adabisi. He requested an ad about how one convict fought the system by pulling out the dildo from his ass and used it to escape his prison block. This is my life now, just so you know. All right. Deep in the bowels of Alcatraz, a societal deviant sits in solitary confinement, convicted of a crime that he did commit. And he holds a terrible secret inside of him, a homemade wooden dildo that he has kept festering for 15 years up his ass. But now, during a routine exercise period, he finally releases his self-produced biological weapon, threatening the lives of not only the prisoners and guards, but the entire population of San Francisco. It's the action disaster movie that stinks to high heaven and burns like hell. Adabisi Studios presents The Ass End of the World.
Nice.
Point Curation asked for an ad for my advertisements.
Oh, yes, yes.
So a little self-serving, but that's fine. Do you have a twisted mind? Do you wish that you could have your strange thoughts and obscure references realized as a humorous advertisement for all the world to hear? Hi there, I'm Scribe. You might know me from such memorable ads as Moon Poon, Sir Adamantine's House of Celestial Sins, and Coffin Nails, the novelty birthday candles. As president, CEO, and grand poobah of myself, I guarantee that for a minimum of $10, I will take your odd movie or product idea and write and broadcast an original advertisement just for you and anyone else who will listen. So when you get an urge to have randomness coalesce into a coherent narrative, remember me, Scribe. I turn your insanity into commerce.
Very nice. I just have to interrupt for a moment because Weibo sent us a MSS news story.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not going to cover it all. I'm just going to read the headline and then we can move back on with our lives. But this is fucking horrible. Italy. Somalian storms delivery room and attempts to rape woman in labor.
What?
The fuck is wrong with Somali people?
What?
Criminal's a 38-year-old Somalian. All right.
You sure I want to read that real quick?
Well,
or save it for deep topic time.
There's really not. It's two paragraphs. An unreal situation in the Italian capital Rome, according to Libero. A Somalian man managed to get past the security of Sant'Eugenio Hospital and stormed a delivery room where he attempted to rape a woman in labor. Migrants have been found guilty of various terrible crimes, but this is a first. Luckily, the monster was stopped before he could harm the woman and her baby.
Thank goodness.
The criminal is a 38-year-old Somalian man already charged with other crimes in the past. The man managed to get his hand on a green uniform and sneaked into the delivery room where he started to touch and fondle the woman in labor while masturbating.
Oh, God.
The cries of help from the woman alerted the personnel in the surrounding area, who entered the room and incapacitated the man and subsequently delivered the animal to the police.
Okay.
This is the world we live in now. All right.
He was charged with other crimes. Why was he free?
I don't know. Thank you for the donation. Point Curation with the emoticon that I don't know how to describe it, but certainly
maybe awkward.
Yeah.
Slightly awkward, sad. Oh, you got a couple more.
Thank you, Sanguine. He didn't stick it in the fontanelle, did he? What is fontanelle? Fontanelle? Am I saying that right?
I don't know.
That's probably funny if you know what it means, and I apologize. And James Colley, 10 centimeters is hardly deep, Scribe.
Well, thanks for that medical reference. I love it. Anyway.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt with that, but when I saw it, I'm like, that is fuck. What the fuck is wrong with this world?
Yeah, that's not nearly as bad as our meth motel guy, but that's pretty bad.
Definitely in the run. We have some fucked up stories tonight. I apologize for that, guys.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, don't worry. The ads are still coming. So Sanguine requested a cult for Chalk. Now, what or who is Chalk? Well, I will tell you. Let's see.
Oh.
Sorry, what?
The thing Sanguine said was that it's the technical name for the soft spot on a newborn skull. Gotcha.
Oh, yuck.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Sanguine. Oh, obscurity. In this era of global warming and record droughts and forest fires, the Abrahamic deities are obviously not measuring up in answering prayers for relief. That is why we urge all of those who are spiritual or doubtful of their current churches to consider pledging your worship to the cult of Chak. Chak, the ancient Mayan god of rain and storms, is the god we need now more than ever. With his mighty axe made of pure lightning, Chak will bring the waters forth to your community for only the mere sacrifice of drowning a few women and children in a well. For more information on how to join the cult and please our God, contact our high priest, Chak the motherfucking Cochrane. The cult of Chak. For only a little pain, he'll make it rain.
There you go. People are wanting the Florida Man stories. They're coming, guys.
Oh, they're coming. Don't worry. They're coming. Oh, man.
They're coming.
Oh, they're coming. Don't worry. I got a whole shtick ready for this. All right. Mr. Baker requested a historical drama about two star-crossed lovers set during the time cultural symbiosis between the Sumerians and Akkadians was occurring. Okay. From Mr. Baker Films comes a love story that echoes through history. In the 2nd millennium BC, the Akkadian Empire is the greatest power in the cradle of civilization. For centuries, the Sumerians and the Akkadians have been unifying under a shared language. But now, the great Sargon of Akkad is on the cusp of finally conquering the last of the Sumerian city-states and bringing the Sumerian people fully under his rule. Amid the conflict, Sargon's niece, Inanna, falls in love with a Sumerian stable boy, Emesh. But Inanna is betrothed to marry an elderly Sumerian nobleman, a union meant to further strengthen the political bonds between the two cultures. Now, Emesh must risk his life to be with the woman he loves, and Inanna must defy her uncle and king if she is to find true happiness. Under the storm clouds of war, can the pair overcome the fate of nations, or will their plight be lost in the sands of time? Find out in Hearts of an Empire. And unfortunately, I came up with an alternate title for this called Hard On of Akkad.
Oh, dear God.
But I didn't use that one because I thought that was a little bit immature given the subject matter. But just so you know, Hard On of Akkad.
I think Hard On of Akkad is a better title.
Probably. Flair Fritz wanted an ad for a movie adaptation of the book Ass Goblins of Auschwitz, which is a real book, by the way. From best-selling author Cameron Pierce comes the most twisted, mind-bending historical horror drama farce of all time. The nightmarish prison camp of Auschwitz is run by a breed of Nazi ass aliens. With their apple-shaped spaceships, they abduct innocent children from the nearby planet of Kidland to use as slave labor and for food. Prisoners 999 and 1001 are twin brothers at the heart of the madness, and they have only one goal: escape. Will these chatteled children free themselves from the fascist farts of their butt-ugly bullies? Find out as Flair Fritz Productions brings you The Ass Goblins of Auschwitz. And all of that stuff is actually included in that novel. I looked it up.
Nice.
And apparently it snows black flakes shaped like swastikas on that planet.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, it's a book.
Is it colder than Mars?
Not with the ovens going.
Okay. Oh, fuck.
Sorry. Well, you opened the door for that one. Point Curation requested an ad for the rise and fall of the mighty trilobite over their 270 million year reign. From Animal Planet and the producers of March of the Penguins comes the thrilling story of the Earth's longest-lived inhabitants, the trilobite. Join the voice of Morgan Freeman as he takes you through the layers of the fossil record to over 500 million years ago, when the marine arthropods first appeared. See the amazing reach and diversity of the creatures as more than 17,000 different species develop over the eons. Witness recreations by Industrial Light and Magic of their various lifestyles. Some were lone hunters, others swarmed in packs. The trilobites ruled the oceans, until they suddenly vanished. It is an epic tale of survival, science, and mystery for the whole family. The Skittering of the Trilobites, a Point Curation Studios production.
Well done.
And now, everyone's long-awaited thing. So what I decided to do, just as a preamble, there were so many requests for Florida Man movies, stories, whatever last night, that I decided to make each request its own individual episode of a Netflix original series.
There you go.
So what I have here is I've got an introduction, and then I've got brief episode synopsises as based on the people's requests. All right?
All right.
All right, so here we go. Coming soon from Netflix Originals, it is the Phantom of the Panhandle, the entity of the Everglades, the specter of the Sunshine State. It can be anyone and do anything. It is the spirit of chaos. It is Florida Man. All 6 episodes now available. Episode 1. Florida Man possesses a couple in the midst of a divorce, imbuing them with supernatural powers derived from their worst vices. When the husband gains disproportionate strength and confidence from a binge of bourbon, whiskey, and moonshine, the wife gains the ability to shatter glass with her whining and complaining. And when they collide over child custody in family court, only one of them will make it out alive. Deadbeat Dad, directed by Mr. Baker. Episode 2. A brilliant anthropologist has stumbled upon a discovery at a dig site deep in the Everglades that will change the course of evolutionary science forever. But alone in the darkness of the primordial swamps, one man's missing link may instead be the true origin of Florida Man, a secret worth killing for. Are the noises in the night the madness of Florida Man taking hold of the scientist's mind? Or are they the grim snarls of the descendants of the Florida Man bloodline? Rest, my weary bones, directed by Sanguine. Episode 3. A force of nature without form or consciousness. A universe unto itself exists in an empty void of its own limitlessness. That is, until a catastrophic event in another dimension pokes a tiny hole in the fabric of its reality, and for the first time, the thoughtless void knows there exists something other than itself, and thus is born its own consciousness. Thus is born Florida Man. And when the shapelessness peeks through the tear in reality, when it sees the power strong enough to reach across the dimensions, it sees only chaos and destruction. It sees its equal. It sees its inspiration. It sees the Hiroshima Hello, directed by Point Curation. Episode 4. The bleak fluorescent light of the Florida Department of Motor Vehicles bathes a random assortment of Floridians in cold light. One by one, in painfully slow order, they wait to be called to deal with their licensing issues. But on this day, the spirit of Florida Man has taken a liking to one particular clerk's window, and each customer arrives there a little crazier than they had been before, until the waiting room becomes a madhouse. It's a slow-rolling game of hopscotch anarchy at the DMV. Take a number, directed by Tall Person. Episode 5. In a bid to exploit the entity of Florida Man for profit, Disney World debuts the all-new Florida Man theme park. A roller coaster, a haunted house, and an interactive museum of Florida Man incidents are all available to enjoy at your leisure. But little do they realize that what they have created is a temple of worship. And the innocent families that ride the rides are quickly transformed into crazed cultists of chaos. As the unwitting faithful threaten to spill out into the streets, what can possibly exorcise the demons summoned by corporate greed? The Happiest Place on Earth, directed by Flair Fritz. Episode 6. In a trailer park in Tampa, handyman Ernest P. Worrell lives out his erratic life in oblivious bliss. But from the depths of myth and belief, a figment of Ernest's imagination has finally become self-aware and is stalking the friendly idiot for final revenge. It's Vern. Another abstract concept awakened. Florida Man senses that it has a competitor on the temporal plane and decides to fight back. And the battlefield on which this supernatural war will be fought is Ernest P. Worrell himself. Will Ernest survive the vengeance of Vern? Only if Florida Man saves Ernest. Directed by Sanguine. And that's it, everybody.
That was good. That was really good.
That was the Florida Man Netflix series. I took a couple of liberties with people's requests in order to make them fit, kind of thing, but I hope you enjoy it. I would watch a Florida Man Netflix series anthology show.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I wasn't the one sort of writing it, I would watch that. That seems like it'd be kind of fun. Anyway, guys, hope you like that. Appreciate all the donations. And yeah, thanks again.
Okay. So that leads us to, did you talk about any videos?
I'm working on one right now. It's the white fragility lady that we kind of bonded on a year ago or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she did a TEDx talk, and so I'm working on that one. I have all the pieces together. I just need to assemble it or do the audio and assemble it. I'll work on that tomorrow. So hopefully I have it out tomorrow. Fingers crossed. At worst, it'll be Friday.
Lots of people saying they'd watch Florida Man, and somebody said, who would you cast? I would do Florida Man as a roaming character. He would infect somebody new each time. It would kind of be like the Hitchhiker.
Who would you? Okay, if not an actor on screen to play the character, but who would you want as the narrator?
Oh, I would want somebody with a deep Southern draw, actually.
Oh, Sam Elliott.
Yes, Sam Elliott would be great for that.
Sam Elliott just as the disembodied voice, sort of narrating, sort of the Rod Serling, but not like the guy who walks on camera, but just sort of like gives the opening and closing bookends to the thing. That'd be great.
Yes.
Yeah, Sam Elliott.
All right, guys. It's the moment some of you have been waiting for since the beginning of the show. It's time to get into Bering's video. Bering got a very rare interview with Based Mama. She's been pretty silent for about 2 weeks now. Completely silent for at least the last week. And Bering got a message from her daughter, and on his last video, which was about the Kilroy event, it looked at both Base Mama and Sister Danger, more at Sister Danger from what I remember. But he got a comment from Base Mama's daughter, and it ended up leading to a conversation with the two of them. And at this point, I don't think anybody working with Kilroy should be talking without a PR specialist. I really don't.
Yeah.
Because if they can make this still work, and it sounds like Base Mama's really still trying to make this work. They need to stop just shooting from the cuff, because right now we had Dave Cullen release a video today as well, and he reiterated what he said in his last one. There were creative differences between him and the rest of the group on how he thought they should proceed with Kilroy, and so that's why he left. We had Sister Danger, who came out and basically put all of this on Based Mama, and in Based Mama's thing today, she basically doesn't take responsibility for anything either. So you had 3 people who were all involved in this in some measure, who are all, that's what the title of the stream is, wasn't me, because all of them are like, it wasn't me. So Base Mama said that the PayPal account associated with this has been shut down by PayPal, not permanently. It's just in a limited state, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It's locked down because somebody has tried getting into it, or there's been a security breach, which she said she thinks is from Sister Danger getting into the account from a different location.
Yeah, I heard that part. Yeah, because apparently, like, Sister Danger turned everything over to Based Mama, but because there was some indication between the two of them in different locations, there might be a security breach. They suspended the account, or at least, held it off, and now she has to prove her identity to re-access the account or something.
Yeah. So that will get straightened out in 3 to 5 business days, I think is what she said. The part of this that's got everybody talking, and we can get into it deeper here in just a moment, but is that she said some of the speakers are going to cost them $20,000 a person. When you raised $85,000, if you're paying speakers multiple, because she made it sound like at least more than one, the minimum you're talking about is $40,000 to pay 2 speakers, and that is absolutely insane. I have no problem with speakers making money when they speak, but this is your first conference. This is the thing that you're building it off of. Maybe you do go to those social media stars, whether it's Twitter or YouTube, who got you all of that money, and you let them be the featured speakers, and you save the $20,000 speakers till next year when you actually have money saved up. Maybe. Mickey Herbstrog again says it seems like only Christina Hoff Sommers would be $20K. Maybe I don't know who else they've talked about.
Yeah.
She's definitely the biggest name on the list right now.
And Base Mama has, as far as I know, hasn't specified who. I mean, she indicated it was multiple speakers that were getting 20,000, but she hasn't specified who and how much, etc. is. I mean, I would assume if there is one, like you say, if there's one person on that list that would probably demand and or be worth as a headliner a payment, it would be Christina Hoff Sommers. I don't know what Christina Hoff Sommers' average speaker fee is. If it's 20 grand, well,
I've heard it's between 10 and 20.
Okay, yeah, but that doesn't seem unreasonable given her profile at this stage of the game.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, but and this is, as I was saying before the stream started, inadvertently part of the video I'm working on addresses this in a way, because the lady in the video I'm doing, she complains about not having been paid or not having been offered payment to go to a conference, whereas someone else was given a kind of compensation and that they bought a bunch of his books. And even though she was told it was the conference's policy not to reimburse its speakers, some speakers are reimbursed in one way, shape, or form. And it's kind of the business of it, in the sense that, you know, if you have, like, if it was me and Christina Hoff Sommers at a conference, Christina Hoff Sommers is a decades-long personality, researcher, author, etc. I'm a moron on YouTube with a YouTube channel. If Christina Hoff Sommers is paid and I'm not going to be surprised. I don't have quite the same profile as Christina Hoff Sommers, so that she would demand, expect, and receive some kind of compensation makes a lot of sense. I wouldn't expect or anticipate much of anything, honestly, if I was invited to go to a conference. I would think, at least maybe I'm too humble about it or something, but just being given the opportunity to have a stage, have an opportunity to speak my mind and get a little extra exposure, since I'm new to the whole speaking gig, let's say, that would be compensation enough. So in that sense, I don't necessarily think it's odd that some people going to the conference are paid and some are not. Now, depending on how you broadcast that information to your potential speakers, could be seen as deceptive / hinky / deceitful. I don't know. I don't know how it was done. I'm not a direct one, but
here's my problem. I have no problem with Christina Hoff Sommers making that much for a speaking engagement. But if I'm putting this on and it's the first year, and I approach her and she says, "Hey, I'll come do it for 20,000," and I raised 85, and be like, "Sorry, that's a quarter of my fucking budget. Can't do it. Maybe next year." Yeah. That's where I have a problem with it. It's not. Go ahead.
I was saying this to you guys before we even started. Like, part of Kilroy's problem was that they were like, you know what, first year, fucking VidCon. And it's like, maybe calm the fuck down.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can raise $85,000, great. Hire an organizer. Hire a PR person. Hire a lawyer. You know, get all that done. And when you're inviting speakers and you're booking people, make sure that they understand that this is the first year of something and you're trying to build it up. Because any reasonable person who understands what you're trying to do is not going to demand $20,000 from you. I think at most they would demand at most a small speaking fee, and just that you compensate them for travel and lodging. And I think
Yeah,
that's reasonable when you're talking about like Christina Hoff Sommers, but I just have a hard time believing that a lot of these people would demand $20,000, or that it even would cost $20,000 to accommodate each speaker. That's crazy.
well, it wouldn't cost that to accommodate them. But
Well, it
somebody like
sounded, to me,
Christina
it
Hoff
sounded like that's
Sommers,
what Base Mama was trying to say. Maybe
no,
I'm
she was
wrong.
saying that they were demanding that for their speaker fee is what she was talking about.
Oh,
Which,
okay.
again, I have no problem with people. What you might be thinking about is I made a joke at Roaming Millennial, because Roaming Millennial said somebody posted on Twitter and asked the people that were in this one screenshot how many of them were getting $20,000, and Roaming Millennial said that I think she said she was offered. I don't want to misquote. Whatever it was like if she was offered anything, it was just lodging and travel. And I made the joke, or maybe she said she wasn't even offered that anyway. And I made the joke that that's an awful expensive hotel for $20,000.
Mm.
As far as I know, the way that, or at least what Base Mama said in that interview, is that this was speaking fees for some of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I have no problem with
Right.
them making that, but on your first year, you're launching this. And let's back up. Thank you, Point Curation. I rate Bears doing a ghetto Kilroy in a pub. He said no crowdfunding, but that doesn't mean we no well wishes or other love. Small scale is the way. That's one of the things me and Bear talked about on his stream today. He's actually putting this together, and Count Dankula has signed on board to do this if he can get it arranged. And was it on this? It was on the Ghost Poo podcast that Bear announced that Dankula had talked to Sargon, and Sargon said he would come too. It's going to be at the hall where Bear got married. There's a bar there, there's a stage there, and it's just a big room. And his idea is that he's going to have an open mic. People can get up there and talk for a few minutes about whatever they want. They'll have questions for a few minutes, and then the next person will come up and talk. And otherwise, it'll be people hanging out and having a good time. And that's what Kilroy should have been about. That's when I was watching Andy talk about this one time, and he had mentioned that to him, what he wanted to do is, go up there, speak a little bit, and hang out with the people he met at VidCon. That's what this should have been. It shouldn't have been this free speech event. There's two problems with making it a free speech event. One is that you're going to run into people who have their own definition of what a free speech event is. A free speech event can either be an event where you talk about the importance of free speech, or an event where you just let people get up there and talk about whatever they want to, a la free speech. And they never really made that clear up front. Base Mama's kind of tried to go back and make it, this is about talking about free speech. That's what they should have done in the beginning, if that's what they meant. The other problem is that's never what anybody associated with this thought it was. She said that in one of the streams that Jim showed in his video, Jim being Mr. Medicare, for those of you listening along who aren't aware, that she didn't want this, that nobody was going to come to see internet personalities. What the fuck are you talking about? Those are the people who raise the money for you.
Yeah.
Of course people would come out to see them. I mean, there are just so many mistakes in this. And I think if they do want to save this, the first thing they need to do, they don't need to go radio silent. They need a PR person. I'm just not sure they can still save it at this point. Sorry, I've been rambling.
No, you're right.
Any
I think
further?
It's dead. And they fucked this up, and I think part of the problem is that people didn't really know what it was supposed to be. So everybody had this idea that it was just going to be, like a post-VidCon meetup. That's what everybody was thinking. That's not what they wanted it to be, which is fine. If you want to do a big speaking event, then great, do that, but do it properly. And I've heard a couple people say this. Obviously, I'm not going to say who. But a lot of the people that I've talked to that know the individuals involved in the organization a little bit better than I do told me that Based Mama tended to be more hot-headed and a lot more stubborn than the rest of them.
Well, that sounds like the Base Mama I know, definitely.
So she was probably pulling a lot of the strings and everything, and that's probably why the other two organizers stepped down. And maybe even why Dave Cullen threw her under the bus, because perhaps, you know, she just kind of, well, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but the whole thing was fucked up.
Dave has been very diplomatic about this. Very diplomatic. He hasn't thrown anybody under the bus. The two women are tossing each other under the bus pretty bad. So we'll see how that plays out.
You said, I'm not yelling at you, but you said when this first broke that Dave was throwing Base Mama under the bus because he wasn't
talking at all. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
He was letting her take the heat. And I stand by that. He did. He kept quiet about it way too long, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think he's the one who's going to come out of this the least burned, though, because he is being so diplomatic. And Base Mama keeps putting her foot in her mouth. And so does, what, Sister Danger, is that her name?
Yeah.
And everything I've seen of her is her putting her foot in her mouth. So they're kind of fucking it up enough for everybody. And so I don't really think that Base Mama, I don't think that he's going to get shafted anywhere near as badly as they are.
Real quick in chat, Sherry D says, Monkey, wasn't in November when Irate Bear said he was going to have it with a ball pit and an NTA glued on it? No, if he does it, he wants to do it this summer. And the NDA is for the ball pit only. What happens in the ball pit stays in the ball pit.
That's awesome. I love that. Irate Bear is great. That
was my idea. So you think I'm great. Thank you so much.
I think you're great. I'm sorry.
Thank you. No, that's okay.
Copyrighted, Monkey. Copyrighted.
You're great. You're my favorite.
I also
person,
came up
Monkey.
with the idea of having a Say Nigger booth, a la Tana Mujo.
Oh God! Do not pee in the ball pit.
Great
Hey,
ideas.
Jack. Look, the NDA applies only to the ball pit, dude. So whatever happens in the ball pit, you won't know about it, and you can't know about it. Dun dun dun. But I just, I think, you know, it was just so mismanaged. And I also think maybe one of the problems with this was that you had a bunch of people trying to organize something who probably didn't know each other all that well.
Well, I don't think that was as much of a problem as it was just like it. See, in my mind, I'm trying to be as sort of benefit of the doubt as possible. I think it's a combination of, in general, reach exceeding grasp, and more like hubris inspired incompetence, or vice versa. Which is like, not in the sense that these people are inherently dumb, but it's just like nobody seemed to want to admit they didn't know how to do this in the first place and didn't ask for help and stop and say, okay. No, I don't think they're dumb at all. I just think that,
Base Mama has an IQ of what, 176?
Yeah, I know. But I mean,
she's an intellectual anomaly. God.
Yeah, but like you guys say, it's absolutely right. You should start small, form a foundation, use this as the testing ground for how to do the next one better, and also ask people for help first. I mean, you don't just start streaming. You have to ask Scribe, how do I do this? Indeed. And then you do a test stream, and then you slowly build up into the point where you've got a show title and a format and 3 people who are constantly there yapping at each other. And we know how this works. I mean, they wanted to hit it out of the park the first try, and I understand that. You really want to make a splash, you want to impress, you want to show you can do it better and everything else, but you got to be able to take a step back and say, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing, and I need some help first.
Real quick, let me get these super chats. Thank you, Point Curation. You're like Frosted Flakes. Well, thank you. Yes, I am. And
Frosted Flakes.
Sanguine said, so would the Say Nigger booth be the photo booth, Monkey? Yes, absolutely. What you would actually do is get to hug Irate Bear, and you would say nigger as the picture's taken, just like iDubbbz did. It would be identical to that. I just think that would be a wonderful moneymaker for him. One of the things I touched on a moment ago with the differences between free speech things, I don't think you necessarily have to be friends with each other or know each other all that well, but I do think you have to be on the same page.
Yeah,
from
and
what
that's what I
Dave
mean. I
Cullen
don't think-
said, he saw this free speech event as people can come up and talk about what they want to. Where Base Mama is, I want to talk about these things regarding free speech. And that is where a huge problem came in.
What's clicking?
Sorry,
That's
I was
SDA.
popping my knuckles.
Ow.
That was your
gross.
knuckles?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, it's her man
Sorry.
hands. It's her man hands. It's okay.
I know everything on me pops. Like my
Yeah,
my
it
7th
does.
grade
Your
English
pussy
teacher.
pops.
You shut the fuck up.
That pussy.
My English teacher used to give us nicknames in 7th grade, and mine was Popcorn.
Wait, so you're the Lord of Popcorn? Yay!
Well, yeah,
Lord
I
of
guess.
Pops. England DG, thank you so much for the super chat. What you do for something like this, in my humble opinion, is piggyback on an established event, Comic-Con, Dragon Con, crossover audience. You set this even over 2 or 3 days as a bookend. Also, a major port like Atlanta is a good idea. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying about Phoenix. Phoenix is a pain in the butt to get to. It's especially inconvenient for international travelers. Whereas, Atlanta's the busiest airport in the world, and a ton of fucking conferences are held in Atlanta every year. Like most major like medical conferences and stuff like that are in like New York, LA, Atlanta, like that kind of thing. Just because it's so easy to get to. And it's more convenient for people who are traveling internationally, because from the UK and from parts of Europe, you're guaranteed to pretty much be able to get a nonstop flight into Atlanta. And the air travel is probably going to be cheaper, and you're going to have a lot more choices. And, and I get why they did it in Phoenix. I think it was a little self-centered for Base Mama to be like, I live here, so we're doing it here. Fuck the fact that it's not convenient at all. So I think there was a lot of poor planning in that respect as well. But it kind of makes me want to do like a small event and just see what the fuck happens. See if we can make
Point
it work.
curation, thank you so much. Monkey is Frosted Flakes. SDA is Rice Krispies. What is Scribe? Shredded wheat.
What? Why?
Yeah,
What?
I agree.
What? You mean I make people regular? What the fuck?
Yes.
Wow.
You make people shit on a regular basis.
What? No. It's gross. Why can't I be something cool like Frosted Flakes? Can I be cookie? Ooh,
Cool.
can I be Cookie Crisp?
No, Cookie Crisp. Okay, so like a massive disappointment. Have you ever had Cookie Crisp? Oh my god!
Okay.
Oh no!
They're like it's cookies in a cereal, and it's like those are
That
not
was
fucking
awesome.
cookies.
That was awesome. Grant Grissom, thank you. Could do it here in Austin. Actually, there's several places in Texas that I think would have been better than doing it in Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just thinking about if you want to have people coming internationally, then like Atlanta, New York, that kind of, somewhere that's not fucking Phoenix, Arizona in April, you idiot. I'm sorry.
Gregory Hurst, thank you. And Nigger Booth would be more popular in Atlanta.
Popular. Yeah, that's the word I'd use.
Yeah, probably not. See, you can get away with it in England, because I don't know if you guys have heard English people use that word, but it sounds so proper. It almost sounds like a title of nobility. You can't get mad at people with an English accent saying it.
Oh God. Austin hasn't. Yeah, I mean, a lot of places have an international airport. Atlanta is just like the airport. My cousin and I were talking about it, like airports that we would be okay getting delays in, and Atlanta's like at the top of the list. Like if you're gonna get delayed or have a massive layover, I'd rather be in Atlanta. LaGuardia is one of the fucking worst. Oh my God.
And if there is anybody here from Kilroy, or you can get this message to people, I would be willing to still go to Kilroy for $15,000. I'm discounted.
Discount monkey.
You know what? It's my birthday weekend. I'll do it for $14,000.
Yeah, monkey. This is monkey on the Steam sale.
It's my birthday. Here's the thing: you would have to pay me $50,000 to go on my birthday weekend because it's my 21st birthday, and I have promises from Poisoning the Well that we're going to go out on my 21st birthday. So,
wow, what you say?
Do you know how fucked up we could get you in a completely different city where nobody has the possibility of ever knowing you?
Oh fuck!
So
I'm not getting fucked up. I am not getting
Oh.
fucked up at all. That's
I would
not
put
happening.
you in a cab to the wrong hotel.
You piece of shit. Yes, this is why I would never get fucked up near you.
Point curation. Thank you so much. Hashtag WEG represent.
Okay.
5K. Oh, did we talk about Base Mama saying that she was going to sue the fuck out of people or some shit like that?
I didn't. Oh, but that does remind me of another. I don't know about that at all. So if you know about that, let me know.
I don't know anything about that. I just saw that. I saw people throwing around things about suing.
Real quick, because it's chat time, but I want to cover this real fast. There's not a whole lot to say about it. Our favorite French Canadian Jean-François.
Jean-François! How I love Jean-François! Sorry.
Has hit Destiny with a cease and desist order.
A cease and desist of what?
¿Por qué?
To stop defaming him.
Oh.
Jean-François. I'm sorry.
Jean-François.
So yeah, apparently, and he does have a point. There's no proof that Jean-François was trying to marry a retarded girl for citizenship, and so he's asking Destiny to stop saying that. But we'll see how this turns out. Jim's been all over it on Twitter. It's been funny. Grant Grissom, thank you so much. It's the Say Nigger booth discount, eh, Monkey? Indeed, yes it is. Yes it is. And with that, chat, it is your time. Questions, comments, concerns. If there's anything you want us to talk about that we haven't yet, or you want to hear more about what we've already said, or you want to insult us, that's fine too. Hey,
don't insult me.
It's your time. So why not? Are you a special snowflake?
I'm a sacred snowflake.
You're sacred?
God damn.
Monkey Lint says, step outside of the convention zone in Atlanta and you will be culturally enriched. Fair enough.
Yeah, Atlanta has like a whole thing, like conventions in Atlanta. I don't know. We could do it. That'd be fun. Have like two people speak and be like, all right, didn't blow up. Nobody like was sued. And we didn't get a Mr. Medicare video about it. We did good. Good event. Hashtag monkey shit 2018.
Magnificent Bastard says, Ranting Monkey, can you get Lady Monkey to start a gaming channel? Unfortunately, we can't do a gaming channel from where we live. I would like to do my own, but the internet here is just shit.
SDA is special.
Sorry.
No, SDA is sacred. It's different. Okay.
Oh.
Sacred snowflake.
Scribe Light, how cute are you behind that avatar?
Well, Monkey and SDA have seen a picture of me, so I'm my own worst critic. I don't think I look that bad in relative terms, but I'll leave it to them to assess me.
I beat off to the picture I saw, so.
Okay, never mind.
Weibo says, didn't JF issue his own cease and desist? It's possible it was from him, but he also represented himself when he was trying to get custody of the retarded girl.
Oh.
This whole thing is crazy and I love it. I also love that I'm not involved in any of it. It makes me happy.
Grant Grissom says, SDA is the sexiest beast in this stream.
Yeah, and you know it.
Gregory says he'd plunger you, Scribe.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay, thanks, Gregory, I guess.
Do you like Ben Shapiro? I mean, Ben Shapiro. Yeah, he's right.
I like Ben. Point
His
curation
voice is just funny.
Monkey or chat, whatever the fuck I'm doing, transcribing shit and using money towards creators and commenting is what I'm doing wrong or unwanted. I know no feedback. I appreciate everything, every donation, and why would it be wrong? Whether it's me,
donate or
whether it's me or anyone else, I think it's awesome when people support their favorite creators and interact with Super Chat. It's amazing because YouTube has screwed us and you guys keep us going. That's just truth.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like the support that we get from the shows are basically the reason why I've been able to afford all the things I need to do to actually get ready to have a book published. I mean, without that, none of that would have been possible. I mean, this is what we do for work. So you guys supporting us is literally a lifeline, and I don't think we can thank you enough for that.
Speaking of thank you, Sanguine. Are there pictures you don't beat off to, Monkey? I mean, I've seen your kind in the zoo yank it to shapeless trees. That's actually funny because I was shit posting in Misa's stream today and talking about beating off to trees.
Yeah.
So either you were watching or you're psychic.
Yeah, I want to see if I can get Misa on sometime, but she was like, I like to sleep. And I was like, well, yeah, but I could get Ranting Monkey, not Ranting, Irate Bear to give you a wake-up call. And she's like, don't. I'm like, okay.
Point curation, I said, I feel like I donate and try to engage with people, even going so far as to try to sponsor videos, but I've had no success at all. I would disagree with that. You've caused quite a bit of conversation just on our show.
Mm-hmm.
Sponsoring videos is a little harder. You and I have talked about this, and if I'm not feeling a video, I can't make it even for money. So
Yeah.
I feel like I may be an annoyance, but knowing that would be better than having no idea. No, dude, you're not an annoyance. Seriously, you really do. You've sparked a lot of conversation here.
Yeah, I don't. Sorry. There's several videos that I've gotten like almost all the way through and like sort of scripting and such, and I just sort of stopped and said, I don't care that much, and I just stopped. I just kind of tossed away. It's like I don't want to, like you said before, I don't want to make a video just to make a video. Either I care about it, or I'm passionate about the subject matter, or I'm not, and it's a very binary thing. So
I'm kind of the same way, but point, if you want to sponsor a video, let me know.
Yeah.
Cryptic, thank you so much. I used to date a girl with a lazy eye. Turns out she was seeing someone else the whole time.
Har.
Maggie asked where the book was. I'm meeting with my editor this week, so she can take a look at the manuscript and all of that.
Please tell me your editor isn't Chris Saliza.
Damn it, Scribe. I can't dox my editor, but...
Shit.
Look, you're not supposed to know, okay?
Oh, no! Not Chris Saliza!
God damn it.
Thank you, Timothy Sealbeck. SDA, have you taken that course I paid for yet?
I haven't taken it yet. I did make the little prequel video for it over the holidays, and that will probably happen this weekend.
And when's the Meatloaf rendition coming?
After that gets done. SDA's busy, okay?
Yeah.
And and it's getting there. Because I need to make sure that I have enough time to actually sit there and film the whole thing. So that's
Point says SDA, absolutely. I will reach out on Patreon. Crazy Man says, hey, Ranting Monkey, hear you saying you would do a video if the price is right. I would have a hard time putting out a video just because somebody paid me to do it.
Yeah.
It has to be something. This is why I haven't had a video in a while, because I keep making videos that don't even interest me, and I can't do that. I would rather people be wondering when my next content was coming than going, why is he putting up this shit?
Mm-hmm.
BG wants to know the most fucked up film we've seen. It's got to be Faces of Death.
The film that forms on top of gravy.
Nice.
Har.
Can I get a shout out for my Buffalo Bills first playoff appearance in 17 years? Says the Christian skeptic. The Bills are in the playoffs.
Yay!
Not a question, but I just want to say that this is the first time ever that I've been at home and awake to see your stream live. One of my favorite things this week. Oh, well, thank you, and welcome to the live part of the stream.
I don't know about everyone else, but I prefer streams live just because you get to interact with the chat. If I'm not in the stream, I am in the chat shit posting like crazy.
Priestess of Keck, Beyond the Wall of Sleep. Are we in a Lovecraft mode now? Are we in the Dreamlands?
Sure. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, Beyond the Wall of Sleep was a horrible movie, if that was your answer to the horrible movie question. Yeah, I own a copy of that just because I have a tendency to buy films that are based on Lovecraft stuff, even if they're awful, just to sort of have them. And I paid like $1 for that one, and oh God, it was bad.
Okay, SDA is going to be a weirdo, but are the Bills NFL or college?
NFL.
Okay.
No,
It's
they're
Because I saw
professional
people
football
saying
team.
go Dogs, and I was like, oh my
no,
god.
no, no. The Buffalo Bills are a professional curling team.
Okay. What's the most
Real
insulting
quick,
thing
Scott-
you've said to... Oh, sorry.
Real quick, Scott has been asking this for 2 days now. Scribe, who is the worst villain, Hedy Lamarr or President Scribe, or the better villain?
Probably Hedy Lamarr.
Hedy
Just
Lamarr.
because, yeah.
Didn't do much.
Scribe didn't do much. Somebody just said something that I caught. Snowbird says, Scribe Light, do you know a Venom movie has been announced? Yeah, it's Tom Hardy. Sony's doing it. It's convoluted because it doesn't take place in the MCU. Spider-Man, I don't know how they're going to handle his origin story minus the whole Spider-Man aspect to it. I hope it's creative, but it's also supposed to be sort of the prequel to lead into the Silver and Black spinoff with Silver Sable and Black Cat. Sony's trying to set up their own mini Spider-Man universe, but it's a tangent Spider-Man universe while Spider-Man's still over at the MC. I don't know what Sony's doing. These are the same minds that came up with the female Ghostbusters. So, and the Fantastic. No, that Fantastic Four is Fox. Never mind.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh God.
Yeah, what SDA was getting to was BG's question. Ranting Monkey, what is the most insulting thing you've said to SDA and or Scribe? I don't know. I don't feel I'm all that insulting.
Insulting?
I'm definitely worse than you are about being a bitch.
Yeah, no shit, Cookie Crisp.
That was a fun. I'm sorry, dude.
Shitty fucking cereal, all right? It's not my fault.
No. Okay, all melodrama aside, that was fucking hilarious.
That was a great cut.
That was fucking hilarious.
Awesome.
I'm not gonna deny that one. I mean, I had to play it up because I was, oh, I'm hurt, but no, that was funny.
Solid burn.
Yeah, that was a solid one. Yeah.
Let's see. Have any of you been balked by Steve Shives? Yeah, fuck, a long time ago.
I think I'm still unblocked by him. I think maybe. No, wait. I'll check. Hold on. Because I think I got blocked as soon as I sort of like subscribed to Sargon and the bot got me. But
oh yeah,
I'll check.
Awesome to see some folks say "Go Bills." Glad you're enjoying it. I haven't paid much attention to the Bills here. Did they sneak in or did they actually win their division?
So what's Steve Shives' real Twitter handle? Is it my name Shives?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
Oh, okay, I don't know which one to look and see if I've been blocked or not. So
when Scribe closes the show, why doesn't he say "Your life makes me ad"? Thank you, Terry Diamandis. That was great. Yeah, you should steal that.
That's a good one. I'll have to try to remember that one. That's good.
Cryptic says they backed in like a fat chick waiting for cake. What?
Jesus.
Who are we talking about?
I know. What?
I like the line, but Scribe Light and Ranting Monkey, will Venom be full of PC crap and SJW garbage like Spider-Man Homecoming? I don't think Spider-Man Homecoming really was, other than the MJ character.
Yeah, the MJ stuff was kind of bullshit. With Tom Hardy, and at least the stuff I've seen so far, at least peripherally with Venom, I don't think PC is quite going to be the speed they're running. I could be proven wrong, but given that it's Tom Hardy, well, I mean, again, it all depends on how they're going to play out the character of Venom and the character of Eddie Brock, because these are two separate characters. That's something that I'm really twitchy about Sony trying to do all by their lonesome.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't understand that these are two separate individual entities coming together to create one, that is an aspect that is important to the character. I don't know how they're going to handle Eddie Brock's wife, because apparently she's in the story and their dynamic. But PC, social justice, if it's there, it's going to be light. And again, that's me hoping probably more than will end up being realized.
Mickey Herbstrug again says, what do you think about the bad decision to make X-Men Dark Phoenix after the last travesty? If they did that story and they did it properly, it would be one of the best movies ever made for comic film. But they won't. They'll fuck it up.
It's Fox. As long as these movies make money, they will still keep cranking them out. I have some reserved high hopes for the New Mutants movie because it looks like they're going in a completely different direction than most other X-Men movies or mutant movies, let's say, but we'll see. But if Marvel has truly gained all the rights to Fox Studios, my hopes for the X-Men franchise going forward are far higher than whatever Fox is producing or is getting in the can right now.
Oh, fucking Jack Cochran. But as a symbiote of color, will Venom be woke? And will Eddie Brock be a body positive, sassy black woman?
Oh, God.
I would actually watch that movie.
Hey, Tom Hardy has range. That's all I'll say. He does have range.
Okay, for the people who are upset that I said Spider-Man wasn't that PC, yes, I understand that they changed some of the characters to be more racially diverse. Mm-hmm. They made what's his name, a fat little dude instead of
Ned Leeds is a fat Asian kid instead of just a white guy, I guess. And then MJ is, I don't even know, I don't know what the actress's origins are. I don't really care, but whatever. She's not redhead. That's all I care about. She's not a redhead.
And the problems with it in the actual SJW sphere, the stuff that affected the story, all, in my opinion, revolved mostly around MJ. If you're talking about just shitty character things, Spider-Man, we've talked about this before. In his youth, he went through this alone. It wasn't until he became married to MJ that he really had somebody he could lean on,
right,
for a long time. And I think they fucked that up horribly. But them changing the colors of the characters, I'm not a big fan of it because people pay to see the characters come to life, and those aren't the characters. But I don't think it made a big impact on the story, and it wasn't the MJ shit of sitting there bitching about the Washington Monument being
the Washington Monument was the one that pissed me off the most. Yeah, that was made by slaves. Like, oh God, fuck off.
Couple of super chats here. Thank you, Cryptic. If sex with 3 people is called a threesome and sex with 4 people is called a foursome, I guess now it's clear why everyone calls me handsome.
Hi.
Well played. And thank you, Grant Grissom. I miss the good old days when men wore suits to work. You could smoke inside. We used Commodore 64s and PC snowflakes didn't exist. I have no problem with any of that except for I hate wearing a suit, and I like my computer more than I like any Commodore 64 game I ever played.
64, sorry. No, don't go backwards when it comes to computers.
No, push forward, always forward.
Mm-hmm. And how?
I know I missed a bunch of questions here, guys. I'm so sorry. If you could. Oh my God, Ranting Monkey. Who would win in a fight, Vegan Gains or the Golden One?
Well, wait. What are the terms? It depends on what the terms are. What kind of fight you're talking about? Is like hand-to-hand combat?
Yeah. Oh my God, I would pay to watch that. I can't say. Bloodwing says, Monkey Scribe SDA to celebrate 800 subs live stream. What do y'all think? Well, congratulations on 800 subs. And
it's Bloodwing. Yeah, sure.
I mean, I win.
Just need to know the when and the where and all that good stuff.
Let's see, Ranting Monkeys. So do you like monkey suits? I actually like all suits. I just don't like to wear them. I look really good in a suit. I look really good in a tux. I am fucking beautiful. What do you think about them blackwashing Domino in the next Deadpool?
I saw that. I don't care.
I'm not a huge Deadpool fan, so I'm able to enjoy that movie a lot more than I would with Spider-Man because I know a lot more about Spider-Man.
Yeah, Domino, it all depends on the portrayal. I don't think Domino's skin color mattered because she was always basically a mime. It doesn't really matter. I'm more interested to see, given the fact that it was that character's stunt double who died on the set, is more grim than anything else, but yeah.
Crazy Man wants to know if any of us like the movie Bright. I haven't seen it yet.
I saw it. No, I don't. It's a very, very thin knockoff of Alien Nation and Training Day. If you watched Alien Nation and Training Day and then watched Bright, you would see all the aspects of those two much better movies being sort of bogarted. And yet the movie itself, Bright, is just bad. It has horrible pacing, horrible characterization. It uses action over substance. I see what they were trying to do, and they failed miserably. So, and they have already ordered a sequel for God knows why. I don't even understand why.
Grant Grissom wants to know if Weibo's still in the chat. Weibo is on a ride along. She jumped in the chat while the officer was helping another stop. So if she comes back, it'll be sporadic. Lots of people. The only thing I've heard about Bright is what Scribe had just said there, which he told us the other day. And I saw Phil DeFranco, who liked it almost as a popcorn movie. So I don't know.
It had, like I said, it had a couple of moments. I can see that a lot of work went into building the mythology of the background of the story and everything else. I mean, there was a lot of really creative stuff going on, but the actual film, the actual progression of the narrative was garbage. It was just not interesting. It was boring and it was bad. It just, yeah.
Chris J says Weibo's a cop. No, she's not.
No.
She's I forget the exact terminology. Point curation. Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin was excellent. I didn't hate him as Kingpin. I actually liked him better than the guy in Daredevil.
What? No, come on. Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin is Wilson Fisk is like the best. I know you think it was like an autistic child, but whatever.
They
Are we talking about the
Kingpin,
Daredevil show?
Yeah.
In the Daredevil show, they treated Kingpin like a retarded Tony Soprano.
I agree with that.
And that's not a knock on the actor himself. It's the way that they decided to portray him. But Kingpin is a brash, and he might as well come out and say, yeah, I fucking do all the crime in this city. But nobody can touch me. So I like the way Michael Clark Duncan did it a lot more than in Daredevil the movie.
All right.
What do we have here? Thank you, Snub Earth. Aiden's streaming her face. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Cool. Good for her. You know, once your face is out there, you might as well embrace it. I mean,
embrace your face.
Well, she got doxxed. Somebody found a picture of her and posted it. So at that point, there's no reason not to anymore.
Is she live right now?
I've heard she's pretty, so fuck, use that. I know fucking Sinatra touches himself to her.
I want to know.
Or she's streaming with somebody else.
Jesus. Academic Cub responding to Jack Cochran about Weibo says, don't most departments have height requirements like being able to see over the dash?
I think she's is she like a scout or something? There's some term for it, like somebody who's just like sort of a
explorer.
Explorer, that's what it was. I think it was explorer. I think that was what it was.
Let's see. What else? Guys, questions, comments, concerns? I know we've missed a lot of stuff. I do apologize. Winston Churchill asked, do you guys like the show Black Mirror? I haven't seen it.
I've seen a couple episodes from like the first season. It was okay, I guess. Oh, was that Aiden Paladin, the purple hair?
Does she actually have purple hair?
At least that's what it looks like on the. She's on Hard Bastards channel right now, streaming. I think if that's her, I assume it is.
I don't see it.
Hard Bastards channel.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
I'm watching it right now. So.
Well, freaking link it to me.
I don't know. Okay, well.
Anyway. Oh, there we go.
Find it.
Okay. As they're watching somebody else's stream, I'll stick with you guys here. Let's see. Scribe Light, favorite 70s horror film?
70s horror film? Well, you know, my default answer is always going to be something like Exorcist, but God, 70s horror film. Give me a minute. There's a couple. I gotta remember if they're like actually 70s or just early 80s because my sense of chronology is a little off.
Prospero says, "Do you follow Norm? God damn it, Noah Plum. Looks like the Atheist Con is going tits up for similar reasons to Kilroy. I saw he has a video out on it. I do follow Noel. I like Noel a lot, even when I disagree with him, which is actually a lot. But I hadn't watched that video yet. So
okay, I had to look it up to make sure. But yeah, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a toss up between that and Halloween, 74 and 78. But Chainsaw Massacre, I think, probably takes it just because of just how viscerally awful some of that stuff. I mean, there wasn't, as compared to movies today, there wasn't a lot of blood. There was just a lot of really brutality. The brutality of that film still hits me. Like that one part where the door opens up and he just smashes the guy with the hammer in the head and he just falls to the ground in a big heap. It just looks so viscerally real the way they did it. And some of the cinematography in that film, for as old as it is and as drive-in as it was, is still great. So yeah, Saw is probably the best.
Mr. United for the Children says, Noel needs to scream talk less. Actually, that's one of the things I like. I like when he gets so worked up that spit forms in the corner of his mouth.
He's foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, he kind of does a little bit. It's funny. And I say that with all, I'm not being insulting there. I literally like that. Scribe Light Rancing Monkey, favorite thing to drink. If you mean alcohol, I prefer a well-made margarita. In general, Diet Pepsi.
Yeah, alcoholic wise, if I'm really like, if I'm out and being fancy or something, even though it's a frou-frou drink, I really do like a good apple martini, even though I know it's a frou-frou drink. Otherwise, it's like Jack and Coke. Regular drinky drink wise, there's these fizzy fruity water things that are only like $1 kind of thing. I kind of like those. I don't know the brand name of it, but it's like strawberry lemonade and peach whatever. Those are yummy.
Oh, here's a good question from Tara. SDA, are you with us still? Are you done watching Aiden? Okay. Any tips for a woman that wants to stream but is extremely self-conscious?
No.
No.
I don't know what to say.
Don't show your face is probably the shortest one, I guess. I don't know.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, if you really don't want to stream, then don't. If you want to, then do it. Like, I don't know. I don't really have that.
Well, here, let me help out.
Sorry.
The chances of you saying the dumbest thing ever on a stream are highly unlikely. So just jump in there and talk. Have fun. Yeah. What I would recommend is if you can get on one with a few people and do it a couple of times. The more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, I know that my biggest problem was like listening to the sound of my own voice, because I generally dislike the sound of my own voice, but I've gotten much more used to it over the last year making videos and doing this, so I'm better now than I was then.
I don't know. I don't have stage fright. I don't get scared when I have to talk in front of people. Talking to people doesn't make me nervous. I just don't have those problems, so I'm just kind of like, I don't know, just fucking do it, see if you like it, I guess. And if it makes you want to kill yourself, then maybe stop. I don't know.
Good Jack Cochran says, know what meatloaf is, and you'll be fine.
This is true. Yeah, know all of the pop culture references ever, and you won't look like an idiot. It's fine.
What else do guys? We have 2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
2 minute.
Which rag is worse, the New York Slimes or the Washington Compost? I would say the New York Times is worse. The Washington Post is a close second.
Yeah, I don't like the Post that much, but I look at it more than I do the Times, so maybe I'm just biased.
Favorite Muppet? The two dudes up in the balcony.
Dr. Teeth. Dr. Teeth is cool. You got a super chat?
Sanguine, thank you. Shit, that is how we minions do it. Jump on and talk, throw our newbies into the deep end. Yeah, if you have time and they like you, I would go hang out with the minions. They're great people and they're really nice. And
Scribe, have you seen the movie Krull? Of course I have seen the movie Krull. It's sci-fi fantasy with Liam Neeson when he was a baby. It's great.
I have never seen Krull.
Oh, Krull's amazing. It's Dungeons and Dragons, the movie. It really is. The one that should be the movie.
The actual Dungeons and Dragons movie is epic. It is fucking epic.
Oh god, it's bad.
Oh.
Jeremy Irons. Oh.
Thank you, Grant Grissom. I'd like to stream and debate theology and or retro computing.
Commodore 64s.
Indeed. And on that, that's the top of the hour, guys. This one went fast. Great conversation tonight, especially from chat. Not that my co-hosts weren't carrying their own. They're awesome as always. Chat, thank you so much for the super chats tonight. Thank you for joining us as you always do and being such great people. Thank you. We don't say this enough. Thank you for the MSS news stories. Those really, really do help us out a lot. Moderators, thank you for what you do, keeping the chat from being cancer. We have a lot of fun and it gets dirty, but it's not gross. So thank you. Scribe, SDA, pleasure as always. Everyone, your life makes me sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.